Hey people, one of my Facebook friends asked me to look into this new symbol and name for Facebook is the meta. And it was due to the people are saying that, meta in Hebrew means dead. And they were wondering what the meaning behind this was. And the android says, today I think we look at the internet, but I think in the future you're going to be in the experiences. So you can see the M here and the T, the Hebrew T, it's just like an X, the meta. And they say this is the infinity sign. But when I look at it, I'm looking at the outline of a taco. It's a folded circle or a twisted circle. And so after I had answered and told him everything I know about meta, I went back to reading, and the next line, it came up. It was in Exodus 22:5. The meta, M-I-T-H-B. And they say it means from the best. The meta and the B is in. The meta in. The best. But in the same chapter, it talks about the death. Here you see U-M-E-T. It's just U-empty. And empty. When you're dead, it's just an empty carcass. Empty means, the ka has come out of it. But just down lower in line 19, it talks about surely shall be put to death. And that's moot, M-U-T. Moot, Y, moody, to might, M-T. Moody moot is the way that the gangster would say it. Hey, shut him up. Make him moody moot. And that's where that comes from. You can see that the first time it comes up in Genesis 2, the mooty moot, M-U-T-T-M-U-T, mooty moot. Or moot time what, the death time what. And this is written many different ways, and it's because this is poetry. And so this moot, they always say it means surely. And any word can mean surely if it comes after the same word. And you can see here in Genesis 3:4, when she's talking to the serpent, they're talking about eating from the tree of life, and said the serpent to the woman, not surely you will die. This tack has you read this backwards and forwards, and it's actually, anything starts with an A reads backwards, so it's a L-A-E-S, and the A-E is ash, and you replace it with an E-S. And so it's L-A-E-S-E-S, leases. Leases, and then the A-S-E. Leases as'll letum what time it when. The lease is you're in a lease now. You don't live forever. You don't own the body. You're just leased this body for as long as you can time it when. As long as you can make it go. And said, in has leases as a letum what time it when. And you can see all the words that they give, the same, omit, mitic, amoot, muta, in met, hamet, the met, the empty. But all these vowels aren't in there, they just give it that. They're empty, to be empty. And it looks like there's 100 ways, that this could be written. But you see, they're all one time, and 51 times is moot. And it's given the meaning surely, because it's always another to moot to come after it, or something similar to that will come after. It's always the moot. And you can see it here spelled M-U-T-E of her death, and about the time of her death, in caught moot. You can see here, the L-M-U-T, is to die. They say L is to, is more of moot. But the way we would pronounce this is limit, L-M-U-T, the limit. When you get the end of your life, that's your limit. That's when you die, at the limit. And you can see in this spelling, emoot, just the I-M-U-T, often follows this W-L-A, and it's to L-A-Y, to lay moot, is death. To lay moot. To lay moot. And so to lay moot doesn't necessarily mean death, but it means, quiet, not talking. But this 4 times, comes up, they say, as meta, M-E-T-A-H. And this is to die. And moot also means die when it's by itself. The meta. And it's just M-T-E. So they've changed the meaning of meta in the Greek because it's used in the Bible, and they were trying to force a meaning on it. But it used to mean, from within. Metamorphic. Morphic is a change, and meta was from within. Metamorphosis is what happens when a larva, goes into a cocoon and becomes a butterfly. It has a change from within. An amorphosis is a change, and meta is from within. So for the people that didn't know it, the Hebrew language was created here in the 20th century, and just to keep the ignorant people ignorant. If we go to the translator and put death in, it's going to tell in Hebrew that's moot, M-U-U-T. And we can see here, it's moot, M-U-T, death, demise, might, M-I-T-E, death, dying, demise. And so this is the modern Hebrew that was created in the 20th century. But the language of the Bible, they say it's Yiddish. And Yiddish gives a different word, it's the T-U-I-T. And so the language of the Bible isn't Yiddish either. Yiddish means somebody trying to pronounce the words. But this is a shorthand. This is a British shorthand. And you don't pronounce all these letters. Yiddish, they're going to call this Bahama, but it's B, you pronounce it in hemma, in blood, in hemorrhaging. So this Yiddish gives us a huge clue. And you see that there's another T there. And so this TU here, this means to, as in if you're going to address a package to somewhere. And this I and then T, is the TH, is the itch. And it's the Hebrew word for plant, to plant. When you're dead, you go to plant. You get planted. You're buried. So we have a whole nother list of words with a T in them. And this is where you find your meta. And they're going to say that this means happened. And there's no truth to that. There's too many other words they say mean happened or came. And we see the other words in this category: came, arrived. If you click on the word number, it'll tell you where it comes from. Meta, to reach, to attain. And then they'll tell you the translations they give it: arrived, came, come, happened, reached. And this is just spelled, M, tet, A. And so it means M, from. And then tet is the serpent. And it means to twist, to surround, to gather, to collect. From collect, aleph, knowledge, to learn, the knowledge. From collect knowledge, from collect power. Power, knowledge is power. That's what you do when you fold up your taco. You collect all your stuff in there. From collect knowledge. And this is where your word math comes from. And you see it right down here. And it's Ezekiel 24:13. And I did a movie. I'll leave a link at the end. And so this is, endomatic. Endomatic mayon, they're thick. Will there it mathematical of your filthiness. Mathematical is a hoarder, somebody who keeps on collecting stuff. The mathematical, tethered, T-H, tethered, E-R-I-D, the tethered to ode, had itchin the niche it too. itching to niche it to, had each in the niche, had something for everything, each in the niche, and had something for every little specific purpose, each in the niche it to. A time come tie back. This is your word for back, BK, and B is in, and K is fold, is infold is what you get back. If you make an investment, what you enfold is what comes back. And so in the madixum, the dot and the M means there's two M. In the madixum, automatically, in the madixum, mayon. Mayon is, that's the Chinese word for the center or the fifth direction. And it's the Q. It was a worldwide language. It was the Q. It meant the fifth direction or the center. In the madixum, mayon, the center, they're thick. In the center, they're thick. Will there it mathematical, tethered to ode, had, each in the niche it to, a time come tie back. So it's no big secret that Facebook is part of the CIA. And just like his daddy, he's been collecting knowledge on us to use later. And that's what the meta means. And so they've been collecting the knowledge, tedding it up in the taco. And it won't be the death till later to mute us. The meta to muta, to quiet us up, to shut us up.
Don't forget, I won't forget.
Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.